Good morning, good evening, what's up, good afternoon. Brendon Isaiah Bengtson with you. It's been a little while. What's up, Dago? How you doing? Been a bit. Um, Welcome back. I have not started a new project. We are going to continue working on the Demon General. There are two here for some people to run over. What are you doing? Beautiful weather, I hope. All right. So we have been working on the Demon General. Oh yeah. This is a collectible sculpt that I've been working on for the past, I don't know, seems like about 6 years now. We've done most of this work on the ZBrush streams, so if you're interested in going back and seeing where all of this started from, you can go to zbrushlive.com and go to Brendon Isaiah Bengtson's page, and it should have most of them there. Or you can go to the ZBrush YouTube page and go to the live section, and we'll have pretty much everybody there, everybody who streams. Yeah, so this is meant to be a collectible sculpt for print, but mostly for painting, because I do a lot of mini and collectible paintings. So that is what we do at Clinker Built Studio. It's kind of my passion child, I guess you could say. But this is for print, and then I'm going to paint it as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let me give you the concept real quick. Well, you can see the concept in the bottom right. The concept's from Bjorn Huri, from his Abomination book. It's got absolutely amazing stuff in it. So if you get a chance on Kickstarter to check it out, it's Abomination. He has a new book coming out very shortly called Oro, and he's got another slew of amazing designs and stuff in there. So keep a lookout for that as well. Those are all on Kickstarter. Spiridon, I think, is the fine young gentleman who has put all that stuff together. But yeah, that's what we're working on. So we're going to continue working on armor today. I think last time we started figuring out what we wanted to do for, mapping out the pieces on the leg. We can continue doing that. Or I was kind of playing around with the armor last night, so we may. As a caveat, I am using 2022 at the moment. I haven't had a chance to upgrade yet, so some of the features that are new won't be in this particular. But we sure can talk about how awesome the new stuff is. That's for sure. And any questions that that you guys want to throw out, more than welcome to ask away. So one of the ways that I'm getting around the asymmetry is I'll take the piece, and I actually am just using the stager. So I'll use the stager. This is my at 0, so I'll do a lot of the symmetrical sculpting this way, and then I just have it on a hotkey. I'll just put it back up there. So that's how I'm kind of getting, and doing the same thing for like pieces like this. I'll just put that back to 0, 0, and then set the home stage, target stage for that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing for a lot of these pieces. Is I'm just going to kind of do the old method for working in symmetry and using them in the target stage. That's the plan. Plan, Stan. This one I have set up, I believe. the way I get around doing that, maybe what we'll do is we could do this piece real quick, and I can show you how I set up. Let's say, so this piece here doesn't have any of the staging things applied. So I'll show you how I kind of go about setting it up. So what I'll do, kind of, most of the things that we work on is kind of figure out how to do it, methodologies. So this is one of the ways that I do. So I'll take the stage that it's currently at, and then I'll say, okay, that's the target stage. And then I have this little widget that I create, this little guy here, which is just two cubes flattened at 0, 0. And then what I'll do is I'll just take this piece here, right? So it has a target stage, and what I'll do is put this off symmetry. And we'll just throw it up here. Again, this is kind of the quick and dirty way to do it. Let's turn off perspective. The center is a little bit, I think it's because it's off kilter, that's why. So yeah, it's definitely different on both sides. Do I have a custom brush that I use the most? No, I don't. I use, if you look real quick, I just use Play Build Up, Move, Topological, H Polish, Damp Standard, and Z Modeler. Those are the only ones. That's 99% of my work. The only ones that I possibly do is Snake Hook and Inflate. That's 99.9% of the ones that okay, so this is not symmetrical, so I'm gonna have to work on making that symmetrical first, which means we'll probably have to redo this little padding piece in here, which is fine. So let's get this guy symmetrical first. So if we just do mirror and weld, it's not good. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring this. If I really want to get kind of nitty gritty with it, I can set up my visible presets up here, but I have so many subtools. I have 161 subtools, so I don't want to go back and do all that. So kind of. So let's see what that like. That could work okay. All right, so then before I do the mirror and weld, I'll set the home stage, and then I'll just make sure that that switches correctly. Right? That's switching correctly. I just have this set to a hotkey. It's I use it as Alt S. Switch. All right, so then I have it here. Then I'll do mirror and weld, and then I'll switch back, and now it's symmetrical in that place. You'll see the padding underneath is a bit off. Grab this in just a little bit. Which is fine, because what I did was I basically just duplicate this guy and inflated it, and then created that piece back there. Or I could just fix it real quick. Also have to be perfect. All right, so now what I can do is start working on some symmetrical stuff for this guy. So if you look at the concept, it's got this is a piece on top of it. So I'm just looking at the designs here. And it looks like underneath there's just got some faint stuff. It's kind of a little bit more background design so that it's complementary to this piece. So we'll work on that. I don't widget any. So, you know, there's actually a really cool slash brush that may work pretty. Got brushes. There's a slash. Okay. Yeah. It's this one here. What I'm looking for is like the flat side on one side and then more of a curved on that side. So I think that one's it. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. A little bit bigger, turn on my symmetry. And of course, this is dynamic. What I may do is let's duplicate this guy before we completely ruin him. Duplicate him. And then let's divide it once. That looks like a little bit more. So let's divide a couple more times. Let's see how many polys. 10 million. Yeah, we don't need that much. 4. We definitely don't need 10 million on that guy. So this is what I'm looking at. So like it's a little bit more flat on one side and then kind of rounded a little bit on that side. What's up, Ghosty? Ahmed, let's see. Do you usually use Stager for all the subtools? No, just the ones that I want to like pull out and sculpt something symmetrically. Then I'll just do that. And then once I'm done sculpting it, then I don't need that anymore. I could retain it or not. Okay. Let's see. Throw in some details and see what it looks like. Two real quick. Get some here. Kind of break up that edge just a little. And this is another time where I may go in and just kind of smooth out some of those edges real quick. I'll use the Alt smooth. So it's hold down Shift, start smoothing, let go of Shift, and then smooth. What that does is it tries to retain the overall shape while evening out the normals around. I'll just do like a quick light, and what it does, it just kind of treats that edge and gives you just a little bit of a broader highlight around there, and it's not so kind of like cookie cutter. Feels a little more like an actual piece of something. Just run a quick. And then I'll just do little treatment on the edge like this. Give it a little something, right? A little life on those edges. What I should be doing though, should be using backface mask. So before we do that, what's that? Oh, not very fun, is it? turn off dynamic. Ah. That's why. Okay, let's turn back on. There we go. Now it's fixed. So we'll go back to geometry. Let's do apply and then divide a couple again. 4. That's it. Cool. Now that's fixed. All right, so we'll use backface mask. Backface mask I use quite a bit. That's in brush auto masking backface. But I put it out here so that I can keep an eye on it. So now, if I come in and something like, probably not at 4, I think. Again, I'm not being super technical with this because I wanted to have a little bit more of a kind of organic feel to it. So I'm purposely not doing it on Geo because it will give you a little bit more kind of like nice, happy little variations, like this little guy here. And then it doesn't look so manufactured. It gives just a little bit of life to those edges. Cool. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Got just a little life on those edges. Good start. All right, and now we'll see if we can do this little designy maker bob here. Well, my daughters are home, so you may hear them. Get excited about a lot of things. But this is just a little too uneven through there. I think maybe we'll try to use standard brush through here. See if it gives us just a little. That needs to be on. A little bit. Just trying to use. I'll see if I can clean that up a little. And a couple quick tests. Okay, maybe go back to that slash brush now. We can get some. This one that really doesn't like corners. Stick to straight. Just something little to catch light down there. But because this is going to be for print, we probably want to accentuate those details a bit more. Make sure back face mask is on. That's a little bit better. Something not too distracting, but enough to kind of look cool. Details. So this one, I think I still have this one too. Maybe we'll do that same thing for this one. That. Face mask. Okay, cool. This one doesn't. Yeah. All right. Let's duplicate. Off. One we will. Yo. Apply. Apply that a couple of times. My face is on. Kind of cool. Yeah, let's go with that for now. At 56 is the size there. Speed up these edges a bit. Down to 2. Let it save. Thanks, ZBrush. Of course, it likes to go black screen. So, applying that same methodology, edges. There. I think, haha. Oh, this is the version before. So let's. That looks. No, let's just start with a blank slate. So. maybe we'll do a little bit of H polish. Try to knock some. All right. Let's see. This was what, 8, I think. Flash. Let's see what this looks like. That works too. All right, I think I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. So typically when I do some of these design options, I'll come in and do a little bit of work on it, and then I'll just let it sit. I'll go work on other things for a little bit, and then kind of let my eye decide as I'm working on other things if that feels good or not. There you go. Fix some of these pads back here. This guy. Okay. Back a little bit. This one. The only thing that gets a little bit weird with the stager is when you're trying to move something a little bit that's already in place. Have to get a little bit creative. Say here, just grab, pull it forward just a touch. Pull that forward just a little bit. And put that on the switcher and see what. Okay, I think that needs to go forward just a little bit more. This is actually where the dynamic symmetry in 2023 comes in really handy, is when you're doing this stuff. Super handy. Forward just a little bit. Again, it's not something you can't work around, but comes out a little bit. This comes out. Yep, there we go. Okay, cool. And then we grab this one. I have subtools. Out like, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Gotta look good, right? Kind of like this. These ones work. Okay. Oh. This one's gonna come back a little bit. The fun part of this is going to be getting getting it print ready. Plugging all these holes and all these backfills and everything like that. That'll be the fun stuff. Okay. I think we need a little bit more negative space in here. I'm gonna just grab this hole. Create just a little bit more negative. Maybe this goes to, instead of 4.01, a little bit. A little bit better. Grab this one down. There we go. We get a little bit more of that negative space in there. Better. Feels better, man. This piece here is not really. Gotta kind of push way back here. Make sure it's still reading the same from the front. Good. Starting to not the same shape, but now it's not flaring out so much here. It is losing a little bit of kind of that roundness. Maybe I'll just use the move brush to just pull that face out just a little bit. I want the light to kind of just roll over that. Nice gentle. Right now it's kind of got this little divot in it right there. Just pulling that face out just so that it's kind of round this way. Pulling against the normal. All right, so now the light's kind of like rolling over it a little bit nicer. The nice thing about this early setup stuff is that I usually do just dynamic thickness on most of the armor pieces as I'm blocking things out. That way I don't have to worry about the thickness, right? So if I keep it like this with just a single plane, then I can change the shape all I want to, and it's the dynamic thickness that is going to keep the consistency on the edge there. It's really nice because if you commit to that thickness and then you start moving things around, things go wonky real quick. Now let's do the same thing to this one. Let's make sure we have decent kind of curvature on that front face. so that the light rolls over. Duck that one just underneath. There we go. Better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this little piece right here. So I think it's maybe two pieces, this piece and then this piece. So I'll show you how I do a lot of my kind of armor placements. So I'll start with the bottom because what I want to do is I want to mimic this curvature, right? I want it to kind of sit on here. So instead of sculpting something onto there, what I'll do is get it back to symmetry, and then let's duplicate it real quick. Okay, duplicate. Yep. I'm going to go back up. All right, so then what I'll do is I'll just use a mask to kind of design what I want there. Piece that kind of comes down this. Goes like that. This is the piece. I can just shape that real quick with my mask. Flares out a little bit. That way? No. Goes. Sharpen this off. Got this little dip in here. Cat's quiet today. You guys alive? So mesmerized. Oh my god, it's so awesome. Hey, maybe the one time. My wife was watching the Member Berries episode of South Park last night. Alright, so maybe something like that. Good start. Alright, so then what I'll do is I'll just apply a polygroup to that. And I'll hide everything else. That, and then I'm going to do, in this particular case, I'm going to let's delete lower. Go. Let's split hidden. And then I'm going to undo that because I want to retain this right here. So if I go down in my subtools, the piece that I just got, then so we'll clear the mask. We'll do auto groups. Just need the front. So we'll just isolate that. We'll do hidden. All right, and that's my piece. Right. So that's typically how I do. It's kind of an extraction method. So let's go and do cleanup on this guy. So we'll go in geometry, zero mesh. I typically do like 20 by 20, and then let's put that down to like 10,000 to start with. That's fun. So If that happens, typically I'll try to do just a little bit of polishing, polish by groups, and that'll kind of just clean up the edges a little bit. And then now let's go zero. That looks like. A little bit better. Okay, maybe let's do half. All right, so now I'm starting to get something a little bit more workable. All right, I'm just going to use my damn standard there a little bit, and sorry, not my damn standard, my H polish. That'll kind of just clean up the edges a little bit, and then I use my alt smooth to just clean up the edges a little bit, or the topology. All right, so now I have the basic shape. All right, and then let's just work with some dynamics here. Before we do that, though, let's increase by polygroup, and what that does is it retains the overall shape. If you don't do that and you do dynamic subdivisions, you'll see it loses some of the overall shape. But if you use crease polygroup, which creases all the complete outside, and then do dynamic, it will retain that overall like outer shell. Cool. And then let's go into dynamic subdivs. I don't need it crazy right now, so we'll just put that down to 1 sub D. And then now I have what I want. Get that to the same color. Standard, RGB, B, object. Cool. And then I'll just go through and I'll do the same thing for that other piece. I'm going to go back to this one. It is, let's turn that one off for now. This one. So now what I'm going to do is draw this other shape on here. What's up, Neil? Neil? What are you doing? So this is going to be this other little shape in here. Don't need it to be super crazy. All right, just auto saving real quick. Yep. Then I can just refine this a little bit. Let's just make this shape for now, and I'll pull out those little other piece designs later. All right, so then go like this, and then we'll do group, hide it, split hidden, then undo it. All right, so now I have those two, and then I go down to the subtool that I just made. We'll do clear mask, auto groups, save this front side, delete hidden, polish by groups, that off, just like that, and then we'll do it. So, I don't know, 5,000. ZBrush. And then from here, I'll just kind of knock it down by halves. Oh, half, not same. All right, and then I'll do a couple quick little polish by groups. And polish by groups is in deformation. Sorry, tool, deformation, polish by groups. I have that. Let's do dynamic on it real quick, but before we do that, we do crease poly group. Then let's go into here and put it down to 1. Okay, now I got something to work with for that second piece. Then let's just get that in a better. So this is how I do a lot of my armor block in, is I'll create the base shape and then I'll get that feeling kind of really nice and organic and have some nice shapes to it, and then from that I'll duplicate it out and just extract, mask, polygroup, extract, not extract, sorry, and then just create a new piece. So let's get some of these shapes going. And again, it's really nice to be able to use the dynamic here because it'll maintain that nice thickness there. Get this nice kind of ridge happening. Or what I could do is I can use that slash. Let's try that. Let's grab the slash. Let's turn off symmetry for now. And what I'll do is I'll just grab this whole shift and then go down like that. And then what I can do is go mirror, mirror, and weld. Right there. A bit. What if the stager will work? It does. So that's another really cool thing about the stager is that if you have it set up on the base piece and then you duplicate that piece and split it out, should retain the stages. So that means now I can go and this one should also have it retained. So if I do switch stage, it should go down there. Awesome. That's what I want. This one is the real one, so we'll do switch stage on that one, and then boom. How dope is that? Dope. Super dope. Super dope. I love it when a plan comes together. How's everybody else doing out there? Everybody else doing good? Hanging in there? Working on cool stuff? Or outside enjoying the beautiful weather like I should be doing? Let's put that one back. Grab this one. That one back. That one back. Work on these pieces. Oh yeah, that's what we need to build this one. That's what keeps turning weird. Okay. So now I can go in and do some sculpty sculpt on this guy. Get this kind of center reach. So we got this kind of weird thing happening here. So let's turn off sub D. That's why it's being weird. So I typically will use like a trim dynamic or a H polish to try to um, even the edges out. Or what you can do is you can just go in, maybe mask that out, switch, and then do a quick polish by groups, and that will typically help kind of polish that out. Yeah. And then same thing up here. A lot of times you can just have a little bit of a tough time keeping those edges nice. So I tend to use polish by groups for the edges, and then we'll just use the alt smooth to handle kind of the inner parts. Here. Each polish out a little bit. Just trying to get this kind of nice center seam with some more flat planes. Let's put dynamic back on. Okay. Now we'll look at you have to kind of decide a little bit when you're going to break the dynamic subdiv boundary. Kind of start running out of space a little, kind of quick. Let's do. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Cool. I'm starting to add a little bit more kind of tertiary detail. All right, now we start adding some more. This guy. All right. Let's see. I think maybe we add one more layer actually. So I'm looking at this piece, but it feels like we could use one underneath as well. It kind of falls off over here, but I think this side explains it fairly well. So we'll have this piece, we'll have this piece, and then we'll have this piece. Yeah, let's do it. So what we'll do is we'll just duplicate this one and make both shapes from it. This one going to take off dynamic subdiv, and then I'm just going to use the slice tool. This one we're actually push back a touch. Maybe let's not with the cursor, because typically it kind of messes up the stager a little bit. So I'm just going to use a big move brush. Okay, so this one is going to be base. This one's so just instead of using the gizmo move, which may mess up the stager, I'll just use a big move brush, and then just kind of edit a little bit like that. That typically will get you around any of those if you. So I'm just going to use the slice, and then I'm going to come in and just going to think here. All right, let's delete that. Mirror, weld. Weld, there we go. And then now this piece, turn off dynamic, out just a little bit, turn on ghosting. Sound is low. Can you not hear me? How about now? How about now? Can you hear me now? We'll go. So we're going to keep this bottom piece. So maybe we'll just get rid of that piece. Delete hidden. Maybe we'll chop that piece too. Delete hidden. Here in weld. Okay, we'll turn on dynamic subdivision again. Dynamic subdivision. Oop, that one already on. All right, so now we duplicated it and changed it a little bit, and then now it's two pieces. It gives a little bit. I like that actually a lot better. Gives a little bit more depth to it. So let's take a look and see what that looks like in place. We're gonna use our stager. That back down there. Yeah, I mean we won't be able to see it too much, but all that little extra detail makes kind of a little bit of a difference. Okay. That didn't work out good, did it? All right, let's see if we can get. Turn off dynamic subdiv. We can get. A little bit more design out of this. And maybe just something like that. Delete hidden. Dynamic subdiv again. Cool. Okay. Maybe take off lazy mouse. Cool. Cool. Filigree. Dunzo. All right, so this one we're gonna have to clean up the edges a little bit more. So let's turn off dynamic subdiv. Then let's get working on these outer edges. Maybe what we can do too is we'll need a little bit more geo kind of on the edges. So let's do geometry. Let's do double. There we go. So that gives me a little bit more geo on the edges so I can kind of work on the outer part a little bit more. Okay, so we got this little kick up here. Got this comes in a little bit. We've got another comes out there. Autosave. Gonna play around, see what shapes feel good. Blue. Get out of here. See if we can just get cool things. So it's getting larger and smaller because we don't have crease poly group. So just do a quick priest crawly group. Crease poly group. Okay, uncrease all, crease. There we go. Nope. That's weird. Doing that. Whatever. Whatever, ZBrush. Yeah, it is. We're just trying to block out some shapes to see what feels good. And what works with these shapes and the shapes kind of in the background there. Feels cool. Something like that. So let's go into dynamic subdiv. Oh, that's one. Set up to 2. Then we'll just kind of ease some of these weirdnesses out. Force it. Out. Force the shape. Out a little bit. I go back and forth between just a clay buildup and a alt smooth. Smooth. This guy. Guy a little. There we go. Starting to look like something, right? Maybe start reinforcing some of these shapes a little bit. All right, let's see what that looks like. So we'll go stager, stager. A little extra filigree in there. Hurt anybody, right? Only thing I get a little bit worried about is kind of changing form language. So you want to make sure that you don't have form language all over the place. So we've got kind of like these organic shapes in here, which kind of coincide with these organic shapes in here, which could coincide with these as more organic shapes. But then we have kind of like these like really directional, sharp language forms as well. Which isn't the worst thing. I think that any more differences than that probably not work out very well. But this form language in here reinforces this stuff in here. So it's kind of like you know, organics meets these types of forms here. So I think it's okay. We don't stray too far from kind of like this and this organic stuff. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. All right, so let's look at this guy. So we want to do some stuff on these, but they're not set up. So before we do that, before we move on to something else, let's finish this. Grab that, undo. I'm gonna go up here, and then let's just do this guy down here real quick. We can maybe call that one good. So we'll go into geometry. Turn that up to 2. Go. See if this. So trying to complement it, but not. Well, I don't really want to extend these pieces. Kind of want it to have a little bit of an offset, but it is offset here. Not so bad. See, then that, then that. The problem with those three being like these shapes kind of going on from this one, you don't get really the separation between this bottom piece and this mid piece. Maybe we'll just do something different there. Maybe we can kind of do that same plane change that we did with this one here. Down the middle there. So it's a little kind of nondescript in here. It can really kind of just do whatever. I think it's the most important thing is that the silhouette sticks out, which is good. Let's turn off subdiv. Kind of want to have these a little bit more rounded, so let's do a quick ZBrush. Let's do same. That's fine. And then what I can do is do a quick mask, invert that, and then do polish by groups. Go. And then we'll do one more ZBrush same, and that should help round that out. Done. Maybe we'll do, actually before we do that, ZBrush, let's do double ZBrush. Try to get a little bit more geo in there, which is fine. Okay, crease poly group, dynamic. There we go. So now we got a nice kind of roundness here. I want to cool. I think maybe we'll do standard. That's what I was using before. Ooh, not that one. Add. Okay, and then we'll do comes like that. Maybe one more that comes like that. There you go. Complementary, but sticks out as well. when I started this, you were just a kid, and now you're a grandpa. Yep. Yep. It's because I don't really work on these guys outside of streaming. Got busy doing other stuff. Plus, you want to see the whole process too, right? I mean, or you guys just want to see it finished. You're like, show me a couple things, and then just finish it. Finish him. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you only stream once a month for 2 hours, right? Okay, that's good enough for now. So let's put those back. Cool. Before you die, you want to see it finished? I do too, man. I do too. I gotta get this thing printed so I can paint it, man. That's what I really want to do. That's what I really want to do. Let's finish it before I die. Alright, let's... Guys, okay, cool. Let's duplicate that. Oh, it's already on Denny. Let's just sculpt these ones by hand. What the hell? Okay. Let's geometry subdiv. Let's put this up to 3 for now. Yeah. And then let's go back to our slash tool. I'm gonna need more geo. All right, let's commit. Let's commit. Okay, I got an extra piece just in case. All right, so let's do geometry. Fix these edges real quick before I commit to it. Okay. Yeah, I do need to finish some of these projects. That's my problem, as I have too many projects I'm working on. Too many. Yeah, no, man, it's fine. I get that joke quite a bit. It's totally fine, man. Jokes are good. What's life without jokes, right? What, do we look like some kind of clown to you? Like I'm here for your amusement? The beginning? Like, like the beginning? Or you just want to see the whole thing where it's at right now? That currently. Oh, the other streams. Yeah, you'll have to go back to actually, you know what? Let me Let me save this guy real quick. I'll pull up actually one of the older ones real quick so you can see. From 2 years ago. I know. Alright, let's do load tool. Let's look at the first block out. Boom! That was the first that was the first block out. Alright, let's see what the fourth block out was. Okay, there's fourth block out. Turn on perspective. I use a Intuos Pro. Load tool. Let's look at 8. Loading. Enhance. 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 Okay, there's number 8. This is when I was still doing it for video game production pipeline. Starting to come together. I remember that from my childhood. And then this was at the end before I started posing it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. So that was about as far as I got in video game production. So everything was still in A pose, which felt pretty good. And then I started getting into grab. Oh my God, you want to see the first pose? Oh, the first pose it was pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Wait for it. There, that was the first pose. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the project whether you pose, when you pose, I guess you should say. When you pose. Let's see, I think there was a second block out pose too, but this one was like meh, not good. I just used the T pose, transpose master. There, so that was the beginning of this pose. Yeah, this pose is much better. Gotta save. Come on. Yeah, lots of fun stuff to do. Probably be doing more of this off stream from now on. And then that's where we're at. So you can see, went from that to that. I did the concept pose. Oh wait, sorry, what? Second pose is better. Why didn't you do the concept pose? I'm not sure what you mean. Why didn't I do the pose from the concept? You mean this pose? Because if I'm going to be doing this for like a collectible, I kind of want it a little bit more dynamic. So same thing, kind of like that regal feel, but I felt like this one was a little bit better of a pose for a concept. But if you're looking like an actual statue, um, it needs a little bit more of a dynamic pose to it, so that you can get like some of these really nice um, breakups and other things happening. You get a little bit more depth by pulling the leg up, so that everything isn't just in this one particular line. And then that way you can kind of get some really nice front to back shapes, kind of ducking in and out of the silhouette from all the way around. Because you really have to kind of art direct all of your views. Not totally about the back, but especially from the side, all these views, they really got to be dynamic and cool to look at. Whereas that the concept pose was a little bit more like, hey, this is what the character looks like, and this is all the pieces of the character. Okay, this one I don't need. All right, take it easy. Take it easy, man. This one, need that one anymore? Okay. Yeah, if you're back in a couple of years, I should be closer to being done. Okay. That feels good. All right, so let's get back to these guys here. All right, so these ones have kind of like this kind of like wing effect. So we'll do slashes this way, that, and then have kind of like this ridge built out a little bit here. So we'll kind of build this front shape up a bit. Which is not going to work well with this whole like overlapping thing, but we'll make adjusts. Okay. Let's grab that slash brush. My words are not working well today. Not working well. Okay. Yep. Now these ones, we are still on dynamic. So let's go apply. Divide that a couple of times. 1.5, that should be enough. So we got and put that back down to 2. Build up a couple of little through here. Down to 1. Sculpting and asymmetry. You ready for this? Doing it live. crazy? You're sculpting an asymmetry? What's wrong with you? It's also being recorded forever, so it'll be on YouTube. So no, no pressure. All right. Develop your eye, right? Develop your eye. Practice. Doesn't have to be symmetrical either, right? Just has to. Yeah, a bit of slight asymmetry in your symmetrical pose is actually okay. Not pose, sorry. Sculpt. You know what I mean? I'm just even these back out a little bit. A little bit too much. A little much. Okay, so that's good. Let's use our slash. Let's see what we're gonna get here. So that's the idea. Okay. Use our ghosting here. Ooh, turn this back down a little bit. Can I come in this way? So the question is, do I want the light to catch this, or do I want the dark catch it like that? Thinking I want the dark to catch it. Sense. This one doesn't feel right. Now it doesn't feel right. What I should do? Store morph target. Oh yeah. Okay. And the question is, can I do it on the other side? Alright, here it goes. Ready? Here it goes. Nope, messed it up. Especially since, yeah, I gotta morph target do? It basically it says where I saved the initial morph target, to remember where all those vertices are in space for this subtool. So it means that I can go back to my morph brush and actually like morph it back to where all of those were um, when I saved it. So it's almost like a history brush. The nice thing is that like you can like maybe like if I don't like how it goes that far over here, I could just use kind of like that morph brush to say, all right, maybe we'll just pull that back a little bit. That. All right, so it's a way to kind of like paint out or paint back to a state. So if I want to like kind of go back and adjust how this side of those, like where they start in those, um, I always forget to use morph brush. So there you go. Go down to 1. The nice thing is that you can like you can still go and use your move brush, just kind of nudge things around. I use that quite a bit. Don't if you're the curve wasn't good quite the right yeah, there we go. Multiple sub. Of course. Of course. Delete low. That. Delete hidden. Here. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to actually sculpt the other side. I got you all. Huh. Like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. I can't believe he's gonna do it. Nah. Let's go right over. Let's just hide this one for right now. Let's just grab this. Pull that over. Got you though. You're like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. That's just crazy. You're mad, man. The problem is that these aren't symmetrical at all. Anyways, so that's okay. The sculpt is all I really need, and then we just come in with a move. I mean, there's like certain sanity you need to keep with yourself, I think, and unnecessarily trying to match symmetrical sculpting is probably not the best fight in the in terms of what energy you have to give in the world. You know what I mean? I feel like there's better fights to have, better energy to spend on things. There you go. It's actually quicker too. That's cool. Like that. It kind of goes with these lines as well. And maybe these guys can do some similar things. Let's just these ones have like different. No, actually, maybe they're just flat with maybe just a little something. Their design, something like that, you know. So it's somewhat complementary, but also not so distracting. Kind of more of a place for your eye to rest, kind of thing. Okay. Cool. Realize I don't even have these straps in here anymore. During the move, or the pose, I lost these straps. Look at that. That feels too big. This piece down here feels a little too big, huh? What is this one? Maybe we do a little reshuffling. Just kind of bring up. I don't want to break symmetry though too much. So let's actually do it here. We can kind of make all this just a smidge smaller. Feels a little on the crazy side. That feels a little bit better. Taking off, curious. Corrects. Oh, thanks for the follow. Thanks, Tiago. Appreciate it. It's coming along. Coming along. Coming along. I think maybe now is a good time to start throwing in some tertiary details into some of the cloth stuff, as we're starting to kind of refine more of this. Let's try 0.03. That's just a touch too thick. Oh, the other thing I gotta do too, I gotta do the straps on our arms. I realized during the initial pose, I lost the cross strap to these ones. Guys, cross straps. So I gotta do those again real quick too. Question is Twitch going to be mad if I show the base body? I'm gonna be really careful showing the base body on pieces like this. Do I do that off stream? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Okay, yeah, I'll do that off stream just in case I don't want to accidentally trouble. I will do these little cross straps though that come in through here, and I'll show you a really super quick and easy way of doing like bended straps, because it can be such a pain. So typically, what I do is I'll start with I'll just grab a cube. Let's do perspective. Whoa, buddy. Okay. I don't know why it does this. Sometimes, and maybe you guys can answer this for me if you run into this, but there's sometimes when my move is like, look at what it's doing. That's not moving. Like, that's weird. Shouldn't be doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. Don't know. It's Regis. I don't know why it does that every once in a while. Like I move it this way and it's like this like fall off. That happens. I don't know. I don't know why. Why does it do it? And black screen, focal shift maybe. I mean, I could try that. I think it is because I don't really change my focal shift on my. No, it's not transposed cloth. Once my screen comes back up, it's the regular transpose tool. I will try the focal shift though. I don't know if that's it, but I'm worth a try. Usually, what I do is I just shut down ZBrush and open it back up. All right, there we go. So this is just regular transpose. So let's see. Oh, maybe it is the focal shift. Oh, I love you. Thank you, Malbreeze. That's it. It's the focal shift. Oh, bless your heart. Look at that. Look at that community effort coming to save the day. Oh, that's good. All right, anyways. So I'll create just kind of a strap, right? About the size that I want it to. So let's get it back over here. So the strap is going to be, don't need it that long. So it's going to be kind of in here. So I get it around the right spot so I can tell the right size. And I got to be careful here because it's these little straps that I'm doing. I probably will have to, because it's going to be printed, I probably will need to make those a little bit bigger. Because that's kind of a scale prohibitor. If I make them too small, then I can't really scale it too much. Yeah, it is the focus shift. That was amazing. I was there for it. Okay. So then we get that around to the right spot-ish. I don't need it that long. So right about. So it's going to go, let's see, it goes from this one up here to somewhere around there. And then here to there. So here to here, here to there. So one starts here, one starts there, one ends there, one ends there. Okay, got it. Got it. But best. So let's do this one first. We got it starts right about there. About like that. Let's get the thickness somewhere around there. I can change the thickness later, but I want to at least just get it about the right position. So that one's fine. Just move this like, whoa. All right, and then I'll just use the bend curve. The bend curve is amazing. We just add a couple, and we'll just throw this. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I forgot one important step. We must ZBrush first. ZBrush, protect edges. Let's do same, and 20 by 20 is what I like. There we go. Something like that. Perfect. And then now we do bend curve. Boom. Now I can just take this and I can get that rotation or that bend really, really nicely. Bend curve is your friend. Bend curve friend, not food. So as long as I get the curvature about right, then I can still change the overall feel of it. Like that thickness and stuff, I can get that fine. As long as this bend feels alright. And the cool thing is that there's a twist to it as well. You can twist it one way or the other, which is like probably the most handy, because once you get into having something like this start twisting, that's when you start getting into real trouble. So I just use the twist function in here to really get some nice kind of like curve happening. Right, so now it's something like that. Bend curve is your friend. And then we'll just do accept. Boom, there you go. So then it's really easy if you're like, oh crap, I need to change the thickness. Just go into Z modeler, grab Q mesh, polygroup all, and then polygroup like this. So instead of doing it regularly, just hold down shift, and then you can displace that whole polygroup. So if you need to make it thinner, make it thicker, you can do that pretty easily. And then you can do the same thing if it's like too big this way. You just say, you know, the same thing with this. Just hold down shift and pull that. Grab this one. And if you need to go past that, and you can just delete that, and then continue going. Like that. It's going to be a pain in the ass to print, though. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, like when are you going to finish this thing? Or do you plan on dying before this is done? Those types of things. Or process, anything. Going to be wrapping up here in a couple of minutes. If you're not following the ZBrush Maxon channel here on Twitch, make sure to give it a follow. A lot of other great artists doing streaming, so keep an eye out for them, as they will have other cool stuff to show you. If you would like to follow me on my personal page, can you please pick that one? Thank you. Mini cricket. It's just Brendon Isaiah Bengtson. Twitch. And if you want to take a look at our building and painting studio, it's Clinker Built Studio. ClinkerBuiltStudio.com. You can see some of the stuff that I've been working on over the last bit of time. Place that guy. Yeah, and if you got any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out. And yeah, I think that's well. Let's just create this other one here too while we're at it. Let's. Can you please repeat the function of ZModeler with Shift? Yeah, no problem. So it's a fairly simple one. So if you're using ZModeler, the ZModeler brush, let's say so I'm on QMesh polygroup all. So regular QMesh function is it just takes this whole polygroup and just makes a new edge loop. But if you do that same thing instead of making a new edge loop and hold down Shift, it just extrudes that face without making a new edge loop. So you can use it to thicken or thin something out. So that's how I made it a little bit thinner. And then because this side polygroup is different from this side, I can do the same thing. So this is just regular, but if you hold down Shift, it's just pushing that in. So that's all it is. So I use ZModeler quite a bit just to kind of like change shapes of things that I need to, especially when they're at this low poly stage. Before we do that, let's just duplicate this quick. So let's just throw this one up here real quick. See if we can get what we need without having to do an entire other bend curve. But it probably won't work. So we'll see. Yeah, no problem. Not a problem at all. That's why I'm here. That's why I do live stuff, is to answer questions and show things kind of in real time. I think that's okay for right now. I could just use the move tool to just kind of nudge this stuff into place. I'm gonna go under that. There. So let's do. Let's duplicate it, mirror it. And let's get this one over here. We can use that same one. We'll just do the grunt work and do it by hand here. Okay, and then we'll just use the move brush and we'll just kind of get this into about the right spot. Okay, cool. Then we'll duplicate this one, mirror. That should be pretty close. And then we'll just use the move tool to just kind of nudge that into place. Maybe just down this way a little bit. There we go. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just fill these correct color. There we go. Grab that one. This one. Cool. All right. I think that is it for today. We probably won't be back for a couple of weeks, but I'm getting enough heckling that I should probably finish this this piece. So I'm probably going to be working on it on my personal channel. So if you would like to follow me, if you're not for some reason, let me give you twitch.tv. Let me spell that for you. There you go. There's also the Clinker Built Studio website if you would like to go and check out some of our painting work. My painting work. And yeah, that'll be it for this time. So stick around. There should be some more streaming in the next day or so. And I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned a couple things. And most of all, I hope you were inspired to make your own stuff. So get out there and make some cool stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.